Hey people, I'm back for more on Monday, April 19th. Now today is a very interesting day because, guys, the tree is coming down. After 27 years, the tree is coming down. I gotta say, before it started happening, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait for this tree to be gone, because as you can see, I have a pool and the falling pine needles and pine cones make it an absolute nightmare to deal with sometimes. So that has been a whole thing. And second thing, this tree has been blocking my view of the sunset, so it's real difficult as a photographer to, well, actually, I wouldn't call myself a photographer. I'd call myself somebody who enjoys taking photos, because I'm not that big of a photographer actually right now. But even for video, like filming the sunset is a nightmare, absolute nightmare. I have to go like down the road a couple miles to get a good spot that's high enough for me to be able to actually get a good view of the sunset. And I gotta tell you, man, this tree's been here my entire life. Like I said, 27 years. I'm 21. It's been here. The woman that lives across the street, her daughter is 27 years old, and I was like, when they moved in, the tree was here, and the tree's been here as long as her daughter can remember. So I'm like, yeah, it's been here forever. When I was younger, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it only hung over the fence in like this small corner back here, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But as the years went on, it got so overgrown and the branches were just hanging over our side of the fence, and these guys have been apparently planning on taking it down for a couple years. But the winds this season have been super bad, and the tree has actually ended up leaning a little bit, and the woman across the street was really worried that it was going to fall on somebody. But I mean, it's like, it's leaning in the direction, you can't really see it very well, but it's leaning in the direction of like there's not any houses in the way. It'd just take out a bunch of fence. But we are taking it down, and I gotta say, the last couple days I was like, I'm gonna be so excited when they take this down. But me being not a big fan of change, so I'm telling you, it is kind of sad. It's the end of an era here. But I'm like, I mean, I did climb it before they started taking it down, but it was crazy. My freaking doorbell rang this morning. I slept in, my doorbell rang, and there was this guy that said, hey, we're taking the tree down, and then some branches fell in your backyard. Could I get near your backyard so I can clean them up? And I was like, oh my god, like, I was like, holy crap, they're already taking the tree down. Here's the thing, I haven't heard anything. My room is in the basement, but I still hadn't heard anything. The dogs didn't even really bark that much. And when I was like, yeah, go ahead, you can just go through the gate, and I came back here and looked, there was so much of it already down, and I'm like, I didn't hear a damn thing. Like, I'm like, no. And I gotta say, this whole setup over here, this looks fun. This looks fun. And when I heard that they were taking the first time I heard they were taking the tree down, I was like, geez, I better not be home when they do it, because if they bring in cranes, I'm gonna want to swing on the hook. I would be like, swing me, go in a circle, swing me. And it's like, it's not even, all y'all are probably thinking wrecking ball. I'm like, no, I'm thinking like think of this, think of the trapeze in Greatest Showman, and like how they're swinging around the giant chandelier in Shrek the Final Chapter before the world goes back to normal. Think of that. It's fun. I'm a daredevil child. I'm serious. Like, I have to jump in, over, under, off something. It's like always like it's always like, I mean, I'm a daredevil. I'm the youngest. But anyway, I'm like, it's the end of an era, you guys. I'm like, it's nuts. Look at that. Like, it's insane. Like, and it was like, I mean, before they started taking it down, when I climbed it before they started taking it down, there was like, I mean, it was a really easy climb. I didn't go all the way to the top because the winds were picking up. And you know, when you get to a top of a pine tree, it's a little bit, it's like, I mean, it's the top of a pine tree, so if you shake it too much, then it's coming down. But it started shaking, so I didn't go all the way to the top, and the branches were getting a lot weaker because they were a lot smaller at the top, so I didn't go all the way to the top. And I thought I was gonna have a chance to climb it before they did this, but I guess not. But I am happy it's coming down. I am kind of sad though. I don't know what's going on, the dogs are barking. I am kind of sad, you know. I'm like, I'm not gonna cry, but it's like, it's sad the day we take the tree down. Oh my god, what a coincidence. Oh my gosh, what a coincidence. Oh, I'm like, haha, Michael McLean, please make me Connie Lou, I'm begging you. Okay, so there's like, it's so insane. Look at that madness. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, I mean, as soon as it's gone, there's not gonna be a lot of pine needles left for the dogs to get stuck in their paws. There's not gonna be so many pine needles, and we're actually gonna be able to probably walk around this backyard barefoot. We have not been able to do that since I was about 12. I'm now 21. We can't walk around this barefoot anymore, ever. Like, even on this far side next to the shed, we can't do it because the wind blows all the pine needles all the way over there, and it hurts, and we can't walk around barefoot in this backyard, and it kind of defeats the entire purpose of a backyard, if you ask me. But it is insane. It is gonna help my film though, because we do have a really pretty sunset here, but it's hard to get it. Like, if I went to the top of the tree right now, it'd be great. I mean, well, not right now, but, you know, if they, like, you know, like the totem pole that they have to climb in Mulan, if they, like, left the whole, like, stump, I'd climb it instead of the top, like Mulan, and be able to get my shot, because it is taller than the top of the house. I swear my house is not tall enough for me to be able to get something decent, but it actually is. I'm just dramatic. But it is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and I think this is gonna, I mean, obviously I'm gonna get a lot better film quality of my sunset capture, but I don't know, it's bittersweet. I thought I was gonna be so happy, but I'm like, it's so bittersweet because this has been here my entire life. At this point, it's part of history. It's crazy. I'm like, I can't even, like, look at that. It's nuts, dudes. Like, oh my god. And I mean, it is gonna be a lot safer because it is getting a lot bigger and the winds have been crazy. And just a couple on the other side of town at the park, there was a tree even bigger than this one that came down from last summer's winds. The winds last summer were absolutely nuts, and that tree was much bigger than this one, and the wind pushed it right over, pulled up by the roots and everything. Like, it was crazy. So I'm happy that they're taking it down before something like that can happen. I'm really surprised it's still standing, but you know, I mean, it is an expensive job apparently, but I mean, it's great to have it out of the way. It's not going to be that big of a mess. It's going to make it so the dogs don't bring pine cones in. But yeah, it is totally, it's bittersweet, guys, because here's the thing. I've climbed it once in my lifetime. I didn't know when it was coming down. Like, seriously, like, it's oh my gosh, it's crazy. I can't even with it. I can't even with this. Wow. Pros: better sunset. Not as I don't have to clean out my pool as regularly. I can walk around barefoot. Cons: part of history. Nothing for me to climb. Can't recreate that scene from Mulan, which I totally would have done. I totally would have done that. But I mean, like, we've lived here since 2014. It's now 21, and we've lived here since 14, and I barely know my neighbors. And I've gotten to know my neighbors quite a bit more because of this project. So I guess that's a pro too. I've gotten to know my neighbors a little bit better, but yeah, it's sad. I mean, it's great that it's coming down, especially for safety reasons, but it's sad. I'm like, oh my god. But it is helping me a lot more with my filmmaking. Like I said, I can set up a camera on the roof and get a time lapse of the sunrises and sunsets. And around here, like I said, they're so pretty around here, guys. But seriously, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so bittersweet. I don't even know. Seriously, like I said, Michael McLean, please make me Connie Lou. I'm begging of you, because I'm gonna cry when we take the tree down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even with it. It's nuts. And apparently, we're gonna replace this fence back here. We replaced it a couple years ago because the wind blew a couple panels down. But yeah, apparently we're gonna get that replaced too. So that's good. Especially for the dogs. The dogs like fight each other through the fence. It's nuts. So it's sad. It's literally, it's the end of an era. It's been here forever. Like I said, not a big fan of change, but it's gonna happen. Especially for safety. I mean, that's what I'm really happy about, is the safety factor. Wow. So bye, tree. Oh my god. Alright, so April, what did I say? 17th? Is it the 17th? I don't know. I can't remember, but I guess there's that, friends. Bye.